Hello all, I'm Guna Madhivanan from Officers IAS Academy. Friends, we are coming up with an exclusive live quiz program based on current affairs targeting 2024 prelims on a weekly basis. So every Saturday at 6 p.m. in our Officers Path channel, we will be coming up with this live quiz program. So how to participate? So for which you have to install an mobile application. So go to either App Store or the Google Play Store to download this application named Kahoot application. Download and install it. Right. So every Saturday at 6 p.m. in the live video, I will be giving you a 7-digit PIN. So you have to enter that 7-digit PIN in your installed application. In the Kahoot application, you have to enter that 7-digit PIN. Or we will give you a QR code. If you are not interested in installing the application, you can scan the QR code in the web browser. You can open the web page. In that you can enter this 7-digit PIN number and you can participate in this quiz program. So once you enter the 7-digit number, the application will ask you to give a username. So you have to give your username. Followed by your username, please give your last 4 digits of your mobile phone number. For example, my username is Guna8990, the last 4 digits of my phone number. So like that you can create your own username. That's all. You are ready to participate in the quiz. So in the live video, I will be showing you the question. The question will be followed by 4 options as usual, A, B, C, D. The 4 options will have a color code, right? So option A, red color, option B, blue color, option C, green color, option D, yellow color. So the 4 options will have 4 different color codes. So in your mobile phone, you have installed the Kahoot application, right? So the Kahoot application in your phone, in your device, it will show you 4 colored box, only 4 colored box. Only in the video which you are watching, in that live video, I will give you the question, followed by that 4 option I will be giving you. That 4 option will have a color code, right? So if you are going to choose A as the right answer, then A has red color, then in your mobile phone you will have a red colored box. You have to choose that. That's all. If the answer which you have chosen is correct, and if you have chosen that quickly, for every question we will give you 60 seconds. Assume that I am choosing A is the right answer, and I am choosing within 20 seconds, within 10 seconds, based on how quickly I choose the question. I have to choose the correct one and I have to choose it as early as possible. So the one who is choosing at the earliest will be given more points. So if I am choosing in 20 seconds, I will be given more points. If someone is choosing at 30 seconds, then relatively lesser points, right? So this is how the quiz will work. So at the end of the program, we will show you the leaderboard. Between the questions also, I will show you the leaderboard. At the end, I will show you the final leaderboard. The one with more number of points will be given a certificate, right? The idea of the quiz program is to provide you a real-time experience of solving the questions along with that competitive environment, right? I hope this program adds more value to your preparation. So along with this, we have a daily current affairs hit list series, daily answer rating initiative. So all these initiatives will give you a competitive edge in your 2024 prelims as well as mains, right? I hope this adds more value to your preparation. So see you in the quiz. Till then, bye, take care.
Good evening, welcome to Officers IAS Academy's General Quiz. The topic today is International Relations. I hope all of you listen to the guidelines for attending the quiz. My name is John Victor, faculty at Officers IAS Academy, handling political science and international relations. We will now take the quiz for international relations. I hope many of you are IAS aspirants. The quiz will prepare you for the examination. even though the questions in the quiz are not of the exact nature as the questions seen in the UPSC Civil Services examination, nevertheless, this will help you enter the civil services preparation. We will now start the quiz. I hope you are able to see the first question. Who is the chief architect of India's foreign policy? A rather simple question. You would have come across this in your school days. The media also discusses about foreign policy and the person who was responsible for crafting it after independence. The options are given. Please find out the correct answer. "29 have given the correct answer. Jawaharlal Nehru is the correct answer, the first Prime Minister of India. He is the chief architect of India's foreign policy. In fact, the foreign policy crafted by Mr. Nehru was later followed by other Prime Ministers. The current Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, even though he follows a different ideology, nevertheless, the Prime Minister continues with the foreign policy crafted after independence. To tell in brief about India's foreign policy, Indian foreign policy talks about peaceful coexistence with other countries. India considers other countries in the world as equals. We respect other countries' sovereignty. At the same time, we expect other countries to respect our own sovereignty. And we have a set of 5 principles called Panchsheel, which also influences our foreign policy. Panchsheel was in fact decided between India and China. We will now go to the second question. A set of 5 principles of foreign policy called Panchsheel was signed between India and which country in the year 1954? I inadvertently gave the answer in the first question, so this will be easy for you. Please find out the options displayed. USSR, Vietnam, China and Bhutan. "34 have given the correct answer. Once again, it's a good performance. The correct answer is China. India and China signed 5 principles in the year 1954. These 5 principles were signed under a friendship agreement at that time. For the current generation, it may be surprising to know that India and China were friends till 1950s. Everything started changing in the late 1950s, especially after the year 1959. India and China initially had many similarities. Both were victims of imperialism. The first Prime Minister, Mr. Nehru, saw a friend and a partner in China. India wanted China to work with India to give leadership to the newly independent countries of the world. So India and China initially tried to forge a partnership. So this was a period where we signed the principles called Panchsheel. In fact, it was not the first Prime Minister Nehru who gave the Panchsheel. It was a Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai who came up with the 5 principles, Panchsheel. But the first Prime Minister Nehru, he was instrumental in taking Panchsheel to the world. He gave the punch shield to other newly independent countries. You can find many similarities between the principles in the punch shield and India's overall foreign policy. The important principles in the punch shield are respecting the equality, respecting the sovereignty, going for mutual cooperation. So these principles naturally reflect in India's overall foreign policy. We'll now go to the next question. Sri Sai is a leader in the scoreboard. We'll now go to the next question. Third question, which of the below states is not a democracy? Don't hurry in answering, please think and answer. Not a democracy. You have Pakistan, Israel, Bangladesh and Saudi Arabia as options. Once again, most of you have come with the right answer. The answer is Saudi Arabia. Pakistan, Bangladesh and Israel are democracies. They are legally democracies. People are of the view that Pakistan is not a democracy. In fact, Pakistan is legally a democracy, constitutionally a democracy, but in practice, Pakistan is not a democracy. If you look at the state of Pakistan, in international relations, the term state means country. The state of Pakistan is not fully administered by civilian government. The army of Pakistan also wields power, great power. It is also involved in important decisions. The army chief of Pakistan himself is chosen by the Pakistan Prime Minister. But the army chief later takes important decisions. The army chief can put pressure on the civilian government. The former Pakistani Prime Minister, Mr. Imran Khan, he was ousted from his post, largely due to the pressure given by the military. So in practice, states like Pakistan are not democracy. You don't see the essence of democracy, but legally they are democracies. What is democracy? Most people would say democracy as government by the people, of the people and for the people. It is a very popular phrase, but the substantive meaning of democracy is a system of governance where you find a government that is formed and run by the will of the people. This is called democracy. People's consent is given to the government. The government also respects the people's will. The representatives of the people sit in the important posts. So this system of governance is called democracy. India is the largest democracy in the entire world. We will now go to the next question. And talking about Saudi Arabia comes under monarchy. Monarchy is a system of governments where hereditary rulers rule the country. In case of Saudi, it is a prince or the king. Mohammed bin Salman is the head ruling Saudi Arabia. So that cannot be considered a democracy because the will of the people does not reflect in the government. In India, the people elect the leaders through election. Now the Lok Sabha elections are going on. Here the rulers are elected. In Saudi Arabia, they are not elected. They are selected on a hereditary basis. So this is the difference between democracy and a monarchy. We'll now move to the next question. Yogi leads the list now. Question number 4. Secretariat of SAARC is located at? 34 have answered right, but a good number have answered wrongly. Kathmandu is the correct answer. Kathmandu is in Nepal. SAARC is a grouping of 8 states in South Asian region. So SAARC is nothing but an organization represented by South Asian countries. We have 8 countries in SAARC, including India. India is the largest country in SAARC. Other members of SAARC include Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar and Maldives. Maldives does not directly share land borders with India, it shares a maritime border. It is an island in the Indian Ocean, but it is also a member of SAARC. So keep in mind, India is present in the region called South Asia. So South Asia is a geopolitical region where India is located. The geopolitical region of South Asia corresponds to the geographical region called Indian subcontinent. Indian subcontinent is a region once again consisting these countries that are roughly members of SAARC. Why is it called Indian subcontinent? Physically, this region resembles a continent. It is unique. The subcontinent of India, Indian subcontinent, is bordered by Himalayas in the north and Indian Ocean in the south. India is the largest country in the Indian subcontinent. SAARC was established to ensure cooperation among countries in South Asia. India, being the strongest country in SAARC, often guides other countries, helps other countries. We'll now move to the next question. Yogi leads the scoreboard once again. Kudos to all students who are taking part in the quiz. We'll move to the next question. Which of the below countries is not a member of Arab League? Answers seem to be split. Many have answered Iran. Correct answer is in fact Iran. In the UPSC Civil Services examination, UPSC does not always expect the factual stuff from you. Even if you don't have the exact factual information, data, you can answer correctly if you have a very strong foundational knowledge. Now, even if you don't have the exact list of members of Arab League, you can use basic knowledge including your common sense to answer this question. Now, what can be the Arab League? Like SAARC, Arab League is a grouping of countries. It is called Arab League because it consists of Arab countries. You will find Arab countries in the region called Middle East. Middle East itself comprises 2 larger regions. One is West Asia and the other is northern part of Africa. You have many Arab countries in West Asia, Saudi, UAE, Jordan, Syria, Iraq and so on are examples. You have Arab countries in North Africa also, Sudan, Algeria, Libya, Morocco are examples. So this is the Arab world you see in the Middle East. Now many countries in the Arab world have joined together forming an organization called Arab League. Now assume that you don't have the exact fact about the membership of Arab League. You can still answer this question successfully. Now I told that Arab countries are members. Arab countries are identified by their culture, Arab culture, larger culture. Many people tend to see Arab countries as Muslim countries. No, this is incorrect. All Muslim countries are not Arab countries. Muslim countries are further divided based on culture. Muslim country is a country which has majority population following religion Islam. This is called Muslim country. But Muslim countries can be subclassified into different cultural realms. Turkey is a Muslim country, but it has Turkish culture. Turkish culture revolves around the Turkish language. Iran given in the list is a Muslim country, but it belongs to a separate category. It follows Persian culture, revolves around Persian language and Persian customs. Pakistan is a Muslim country but not an Arab country. It follows South Asian culture. There are many similarities between India and Pakistan because both countries belong to South Asia. So this is how you have to dissect countries. You should not generalize. Most of the European countries are Christian countries. But do we call these countries as Christian countries? Most of us don't call Germany as a Christian country. We call Germany as Germany, is it not? But many of us have a generalized understanding of Muslim countries. If you are IAS aspirant, it is time to reorient your mind, right? So you should be able to dissect countries based on culture. Now, Iran is a Muslim country, but it is not an Arab country. So logically, it is not a member of the Arab League. We'll now go to the next question. Yogi continues to lead the list. We'll move ahead. The British era boundary line that demarcates India from China is called. Wow. 37 have come up with the correct answer. McMahon line. McMahon line is the correct answer. In 1913, British India and Tibet discussed with each other to draw a line demarcating Tibet and British India. This led to the line called McMahon line. The agreement was called Simla Agreement. China, the present day China, its official name is called PRC, People's Republic of China. It is a communist state. It was established in the year 1949. Before 1949, China itself was under imperialism. It was under the control of other states, Japan, US, UK, France and so on. This concept is called the spheres of influence. Like India, China also suffered under imperialism. Only later it obtained independence. In the 1910s, China was not independent, so British India discussed with officials from Tibet. At that time, India was also under imperialism, China was also under imperialism, but Tibet was not a part of China at that time. Tibet itself was an independent country. So, British India, Tibet signing an agreement and the McMahon line came into existence. Today, India accepts the McMahon line. McMahon line demarcates the eastern part of the boundary between India and China. Nevertheless, McMahon line is taken as the foundation or the basis for the overall boundary between India and China, which is called LAC, line of actual control. So, McMahon line is the correct answer. Today, China does not accept the McMahon line. It tells that British Indian officials signed with Tibetan officials. But today, Tibet is a part of China. China occupied Tibet in the year 1950. So, today China tells that the agreement signed by Tibet is null and void. It does not accept the McMahon line. So, China is taking a different stance. According to China, the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh itself is a part of Tibet. It sees Arunachal Pradesh as a southern extension of Tibet and it is claiming Arunachal Pradesh as its own. So, India and China have different interpretations of the line of actual control or LAC. We can move ahead. Which of the below islands located in the Indian Ocean comes under the sovereignty of a European country? Answers are divided. Okay, good guessing. The correct answer is Reunion Islands. Seychelles and Madagascar are African island countries located in Indian Ocean. Diego Garcia is an island in Chagos Archipelago in Indian Ocean. US and UK are running a military base in the island Diego Garcia. But Reunion Island belongs to France, which is a European country. Even though France is located far away from Indian Ocean, the island located in Indian Ocean called Reunion Islands comes under the sovereignty of France. So sovereignty means the control of a country. This is called sovereignty. So control of France extends over Reunion Islands in the Indian Ocean region. So France indirectly gets a presence in Indian Ocean which is far away. Because of this, France recently obtained membership in the organization called Indian Ocean Rim Organization, IORA. Earlier France was not a member of IORA. Recently it became a member of IORA. When you study for the IAS examination, you will find out that countries which are located far away tend to become a part of the affairs of the Indian Ocean. Today, Indian Ocean is a very important geopolitical realm. Indian Ocean along with Pacific Ocean forms a larger geopolitical realm called Indo-Pacific region. Indo-Pacific region stretches from the coast of Eastern Africa and stretches till the Americas, North America and South America. It includes many parts of Asia, includes Oceania. Many countries are present in Indo-Pacific. India is a member of Indo-Pacific, China is a member of Indo-Pacific, Japan is a member of Indo-Pacific. Southeast Asian countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines and others are also members of Indo-Pacific. Earlier, Indo-Pacific region was not a major focus of power politics in international relations. Today, it is a major focus of power politics. Indo-Pacific region is a region that is collectively surrounded by Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. The Indo-Pacific region is very rich in resources, oil, gas and so on. This region is also affected by many problems like civil war, extremism, religious fundamentalism, poverty, economic backwardness and so on. At the same time, powers that are located far away wants to have their own influence in the Indo-Pacific region. China influences greatly in the Indo-Pacific region. In fact, China tries to dominate in the Indo-Pacific region. That is why many countries in the Indo-Pacific region keep a watch on China. Many people look at China as a villain, but this is not the correct picture. China has its own right to safeguard itself. China can develop itself. So China reserves a right. But China becomes a threat for other countries because China tries to expand itself and tries to dominate other countries. This is called hegemony. In the region called South China Sea, which is located within the larger Indo-Pacific region, China is involved in conflict with many Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam, Malaysia and Philippines. China claims nearly 90% of the South China Sea. Now the Southeast Asian countries look at China as an aggressor which is trying to claim many areas in the South China Sea. So this is the issue with China. China acts like an aggressor. It tries to unduly influence other countries and dominate other countries. So this is where India and other countries are forced to keep a watch on China. So this is about the Indo-Pacific region in brief. We will now move to the next question. Manigandan is now leading the scoreboard. Congratulations, Manigandan. We'll move ahead. Question number 8. The city of Khan Yunis came in the news with reference to? Israel-Palestine conflict. It is a correct answer. Today, Israel and Palestine are involved in a conflict. I believe you people are following this news. To explain the conflict between Israel and Palestine in brief, the conflict is an ethnic conflict as well as a political territorial conflict. Ethnicity is related to culture. Now you have two states involved in the conflict. One is Israel and the other is Palestine. Ethnically, Israel is a Jewish state. Majority of the people are Jews. Palestine is ethnically an Arab state. Majority of the people are Arabs. At the same time, you will find Arabs living in Israel. You will also find Jews living in Palestine. But the majority community belongs to a particular ethnicity. So this conflict is seen as a conflict between two ethnicities, Arabs and Jews. Secondly, it is a political conflict and a territorial conflict. Political is related to power. So Israel and Palestine are fighting over territory. Territory is a geographical area under the control of a country, sovereign control of a country. The Israel that you see currently became a modern state in the year 1948. Before 1948, a modern state in the name Israel did not exist, but Jews considered the region of Palestine as their homeland. Jews have been living in Palestine for many centuries. They considered Palestine the ancient land where they lived. But later on, the Jews were unable to form their home state. Slowly, the Jews demanded a home state in the region Palestine. Ultimately, a state was established in the year 1948. So this is a state that you see today called Israel. Now Israel was partitioned out of Palestine, similar to the partition of India. Before 1948, only Palestine existed, Israel did not exist. So this is the background. Now, people in Palestine were not happy with the partition of Palestine into two. Palestine belonged to Arab world. I already explained about the Arab world. Countries having predominantly Arab culture are referred to as Arab countries. There are many Arab countries. They are found in West Asia as well as Northern Africa. Now, the Arab people in Palestine, along with Arab people in other countries, they were not happy with the establishment of Israel, because Israel was established in a unilateral manner. UK, the predominant imperial power at that time, helped establish Israel. The Western Bloc nations also supported Israel. The Arab countries saw this as a unilateral action of formation of a country without discussing with the predominant ethnicity in Palestine, which is the Arab population. Okay. So you are looking at the Israel-Palestine conflict as an ethnic issue and as a political issue. Israel is a very strong state. Even though it is small in area, it is economically developed, it is a strong military power, it possesses nuclear weapons, even though it is yet to officially announce that it is possessing nuclear weapons. After the establishment of Israel in the year 1948, Israel fought many wars with Arab countries. These are referred to as Israeli-Arab wars. But all these wars were won by Israel. Israel was backed by Western powers like UK and US. Apart from this, many educated Jews who were engineers and scientists settled in a quick time in Israel after 1948. They contributed to the military strength of Israel. The way forward for Israel-Palestine conflict is an amicable solution. This can come only by discussion, negotiation and settlement. Violence will not lead to any tangible solution. Groups like Hamas and Hezbollah fight on behalf of Palestine. These are called non-state actors. They are not part of any state. Palestine is represented by these non-state actors. The grievance of these non-state actors is that Israel state started occupying territory of Palestine after 1948. It is true. After 1948, Israel slowly started occupying areas in Palestine. Today, Palestine is a small state. The two major regions are West Bank and Gaza. You will be coming across the city of Gaza in the news on a daily basis. So, Palestine's grievance is that Israel should give up the areas which it had illegally occupied after 1948. So, this is the demand of Palestinian government. It is also the demand of non-state actors like Hamas and Hezbollah, which fight on the side of Palestine. We will move to the next question. Manikandan continues to lead. We will go ahead. Question number 9. The term One China policy is often discussed in the news with respect to China's relationship with. Correct answer is Taiwan. 28 have answered correctly. You would have come across the term One China policy in the newspapers or on the digital media. The current China, PRC, People's Republic of China, claims that the country Taiwan is a part of PRC. This is called One China policy. Now, what is this country Taiwan? Taiwan is actually a prosperous country in Asia. It is a very strong manufacturing power. In fact, Taiwan does exports in a higher quantity compared to countries like India. Now, let me give a brief background of the One China policy. As already explained, China got independence in 1949, became the People's Republic of China, influenced by communism ideology. Before 1949, there was an internal conflict in China. In 1912, China became a republic. But even after becoming a republic, it was not independence. It was under the spheres of influence. Many countries had their imperialism over China. Two nationalist groups were fighting for independence. One group was the Kuomintang party. It was led by leaders such as Sun Yat-sen and Chiang Kai-shek. Chiang Kai-shek was a military leader. The other important group which emerged and later became powerful were the communists. The communists were led by the leader Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong is the only peasant leader in the world in the modern period. Most of the leadership across the world was given by the educated elite, which came from the middle class. But only in China, the leadership was given by peasant leader, who was Mao Zedong. Peasant is a person who labors on land. He does not even own land. Anyway, coming back to the independence struggle in China, Kuomintang party and communists were both fighting against the imperial powers. They were fighting for freedom. But slowly, enmity emerged between the Kuomintang party and the communist. There was already a government representing China. It was called ROC, Republic of China. Republic of China was represented by the Kuomintang party. They were generally referred to as a nationalist. Even though communists were also nationalists, the Kuomintang party and the ROC government was referred to as a nationalist. So, nationalists and communists were fighting for freedom, and they later started fighting against each other. Now this internal fight is the Chinese Civil War. Civil war is the internal war within a country between two or more groups. At the end of the war, the communists emerged as the victor. They defeated the nationalists. Chiang Kai-shek and other leaders were defeated. Mao Zedong and his followers emerged victorious. They established the communist country called PRC in the year 1949. Now who is the losing party? The ROC government and leaders like Chiang Kai-shek. Now they lost. Now they fled mainland China. Right? You can see the large country next to India. This is the mainland China. Okay, what we call China as today. Now this nationalist leadership escaped from China after defeat and they settled in a small island located south of mainland China called Taiwan. So what do you understand? They simply took the ROC government which was earlier present in mainland China and they shifted the ROC government to Taiwan. Later Taiwan became ROC. Even today Taiwan is seen as ROC. Right? Now coming to PRC, the large China. Now PRC is telling there is only one China in the entire world and that is me. PRC. There is no other China. Taiwan may call itself as ROC, but it is not China. Taiwan itself is a part of PRC. This policy is called One China policy. Today Taiwan is an independent country. PRC tells that China is not independent. It is a part of PRC. But Taiwan says that it is independent. Most countries of the world recognize One China policy, including India and US. We accept that Taiwan is a part of PRC. But since Taiwan is claiming that it is an independent country, the countries of the world, even though they have recognized One China policy, need to interact with Taiwan, is it not? The interaction is called diplomacy. So there is a compulsion for even India, US and other countries to work with Taiwan practically. How are we working? This is very peculiar. We conduct diplomacy with Taiwan unofficially. Okay? We will send officer to Taiwan. We won't call him as ambassador. There will be office. We don't call the office as an embassy. But there will be officer, there will be office. So we conduct unofficial diplomacy with Taiwan. This is how India and many other countries that have accepted the One China policy works with Taiwan. So I hope you understand the One China policy. We'll move to the next question. Manikandan is leading the scoreboard like Virat Kohli, numero uno. Let's see if others can overtake Manikandan. Question number 10. Which of the below organizations is responsible for regulating and promoting international trade? Forty-three have answered correctly. The correct answer is WTO, World Trade Organization. There is another option which says UNTAD or UNCTAD. This organization is also related to trade, but this organization is concerned with the trade of developing countries. But WTO is an organization that is concerned with overall international trade. WTO is established after the Second World War. The organization was initially called GATT, G-A-T-T, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade. It later became the World Trade Organization in the 1990s after the Uruguay round. Today WTO regulates international trade. WTO ensures that trade is conducted between countries in a fair manner. No country is unfairly discriminated. It also promotes international trade. This is WTO. We'll move on to the next question now. Seven players have reached answer streak 3. Question number 11. Which of the countries is the latest to join the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Sweden. Sweden is the right answer. 2 European countries recently applied for NATO membership. One was Finland, the other was Sweden. Finland earlier obtained NATO membership, now it is followed by Sweden. Now the membership of NATO has increased to 32. Okay, what is NATO? NATO is a security organization. It is also called defense organization or a military organization. NATO was established in the year 1949 during the period called Cold War. After the Second World War, we were able to see a phase called Cold War. Cold War was seen from 1945 to 1991. During the Cold War, we were able to see enmity and competition between two superpowers. One was US, America, and the other was USSR, also called Soviet Union. Both countries wanted to dominate the world. They wanted to influence the world. The grouping given leadership by US was called Western Bloc, and the group of countries given leadership by USSR or Soviet Union was called the Eastern Bloc. Eastern Bloc under Soviet leadership followed communism. Western Bloc under US's leadership followed liberal democracy and capitalism. Both were different ideologies. Now this phase was called the Cold War. Why was it called Cold War? It was called cold because there was no direct hostility or fighting between the two superpowers, US and USSR. Okay. But the enmity was manifested indirectly. Both superpowers settled their enmity through other countries. This concept was called proxy wars. US and USSR will go and fight in a third country. Many proxy wars were fought across the world. Korean War of 1950s, Vietnam War started in 1955, Afghanistan War which started in 1980. These are examples of important proxy wars. During the Cold War, Western Bloc and Eastern Bloc went for collective security. What is collective security? The members of Eastern Bloc and Western Bloc wanted to form military organizations so that they can protect themselves collectively. Collective security. The collective security of Western Bloc later became NATO. The collective security of Eastern Bloc became an organization called Warsaw Pact. Warsaw Pact was dissolved later. Today you don't see the Warsaw Pact, but during the Cold War, Warsaw Pact and NATO matched each other. We mainly discuss about NATO, but before 1991, Warsaw Pact was also discussed by people of the world. Warsaw Pact was superior in terms of army, infantry and nuclear weapons. NATO was superior in terms of air force and navy, but they matched each other. They never fought against each other because they knew that if they fought each other directly, they will end up destroying each other. So this is the Cold War. NATO continues to exist even today. The latest member is Sweden. We'll move ahead. Harsh is making a comeback. Well done. Let's see if others are able to catch up with the leaders. You can move ahead. Question number 12. Which of the following neighboring countries of India is currently under military rule? Right answer is Myanmar. Myanmar was earlier called Burma. Today Myanmar is under military rule. Myanmar is not a democracy. Historically, Myanmar was dominated by the military. At times, the army ruled directly. Currently, the army rules directly. Earlier, that is before the current regime of the military in Myanmar, we were able to see a civilian government in Myanmar. Civilian government is not military government. You have an elected head. If you look at states like Myanmar and Pakistan, you are able to see a phenomenon called coup. Full form is coup d'etat. Coup is the process where the military deposes the elected government and starts ruling the country. 2 years ago, a coup happened in Myanmar. The military took over the government in Myanmar. Today, military rules Myanmar. There is a challenge for India. India is the largest democracy in the world. It borders many countries in the neighborhood. It will be better for India if the neighboring countries are democracies. But unfortunately, we don't have many democracies surrounding India. So one challenge is seen with respect to Myanmar, which is currently under military rule. We'll move ahead. Jenny is making a comeback along with the earlier leaders. We'll go ahead. Question number 13. In which of the below organizations or alliances is India not a member? Options are APEC, SAARC, G20 and BRICS. (39) have answered correctly. Correct answer is APEC. Full form of APEC is Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. As of now, India is not a member of APEC. In 2015 UPSC prelims, a question was asked regarding APEC and a statement was checking India's membership in APEC. India currently is not a member of APEC, but India has sought membership in APEC. We have to wait and see whether India is going to get membership in APEC in future. SAARC, G20 and BRICS, in these organizations and alliances, India is a member. We'll move on to the next question. Five players have reached answer streak 5. That's good. We can go ahead. Question number 14. Which of the below states does not possess nuclear weapons? Options are Israel, North Korea, India and Iran. (24) have answered Iran, but once again opinion is divided, but correct answer is Iran. Today 9 countries of the world have nuclear weapons. Who are the 9 countries? The P5 have nuclear weapons. 5 permanent members of UN Security Council. US, UK, Russia, France and China. Apart from the P5, 4 other countries have nuclear weapons. They are India, Pakistan, North Korea and Israel. Out of the 9, only Israel has still not officially announced that it is having nuclear weapons. Israel is thought to have developed nuclear weapons way back in the 1960s, roughly late 1960s. Out of the 9 countries having nuclear weapons, that is nuclear weapon states, only 2 have a no first use policy. India and China only have no first use policy. According to no first use policy, a country will use its nuclear weapons only if another country attacks it with nuclear weapons. This is called no first use. Iran had ambition of developing nuclear weapons. There is evidence of Iran trying to develop nuclear weapons. But after 2009, there is no evidence to show that Iran has embarked on developing nuclear weapons. But Western powers like US continue to accuse Iran of trying to develop nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons come in the category of weapons of mass destruction, WMD. Along with nuclear weapons, chemical weapons and biological weapons are also classified under WMD. The first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, was a staunch supporter of nuclear disarmament. Nuclear disarmament is the act of reducing and ultimately eliminating nuclear weapons. India as a state also supports nuclear disarmament. But you may wonder why India developed its own nuclear weapons. We were forced to develop our own nuclear weapons. It was a matter of compulsion, not a matter of choice. As discussed, only few countries of the world have nuclear weapons. The P5 first developed the nuclear weapons. They started having a monopoly over nuclear weapons. So we were not able to see a balance of power in the world when it comes to nuclear weapons. Secondly, India was surrounded by 2 hostile neighbors, China and Pakistan. So India had to protect itself from the hostile neighborhood. These factors forced India to develop its own nuclear weapons. But India's nuclear weapons are not for threatening or attacking other countries. Our weapons are for ensuring our own security and for ensuring our sovereignty. In the year 2003, India released its own nuclear doctrine which stresses on these points. We will move on to the last question, question number 15. Hari is a new leader now. Congrats, Hari. 4 players have now hit answer streak 6. Congratulations. You can move ahead. In which year did India officially become a nuclear weapons state? Options are 1969, 1974, 1998 and 2003. Once again, answers are divided. Anyway, this is a somewhat challenging question. The correct answer is 1998. I already explained about nuclear weapons and the list of countries having nuclear weapons. India developed its nuclear weapons in the 1970s. We conducted our first nuclear test in the year 1974. It was codenamed Smiling Buddha. We conducted a second nuclear test in the year 1998. It was codenamed Operation Shakti. Only after the second nuclear test did India officially announce that we are a nuclear weapon state. So 1998 is the correct answer. It is also interesting to note that India has nuclear fusion bomb. Pakistan has more nuclear warheads compared to India, but Pakistan does not have nuclear fusion bomb. We have nuclear fusion bomb. The nuclear fusion bomb, also called thermonuclear bomb or hydrogen bomb, was tested in the year 1998. China and Pakistan have more nuclear warheads or nuclear bombs compared to India, but India is strong when it comes to delivery. We have a very strong missile system. Agni is a series of missile which is capable of delivering nuclear warheads. Pakistan is weak when it comes to delivery system. India is strong when it comes to delivery system, but nevertheless, India is a peace-loving country. We are not looking for any war with other countries. We will end our quiz with this. Thank you, all of you, for taking part in the quiz. I wish you all the very best for your success in the IAS examination in future. Thank you.